Adam Taxin here in Venice Beach, Florida, near, I guess, a little bit south of Sarasota, a little bit north of the Fort Myers area, Lee County. I don't know what county I'm in right here, but amazingly, it looks like we may actually get a sunset. The clouds are breaking just in time. 10 minutes ago, you can actually just see this on my Facebook page right now. I managed to see a rainbow in the parking lot. It only just cleared. I was going to go to spring training this morning. It was raining. It's really been miserable all day. And the irony is, it's been nice the last few days, but the sunsets and sunrises really haven't come through that well. But I didn't even try one today. But here, we've had a miserable day all day, and look how it's going to end. Oh, first I've seen of the sun all day, believe it or not. So it's very funny. I came over here a little while ago. I was at a place called Warm Mineral Springs, which not that many people know about. A lot of people consider it the fountain of youth that Ponce de Leon was looking for. And it has, I think, more minerals than any spring in the US. Now, I've got to know a little bit about hot springs in the last year or two, and most of them are out west in mountainous areas. Florida is definitely not a mountainous place, so this is a really unique situation. I believe it's the only real mineral springs in the state of Florida. Florida is so non-mountainous that its highest point is a joke. It is the lowest, highest point of any state in the country, and it also is like a half mile from the Alabama border. So it's not a typical spring situation. Most of the good springs are out west. They're everywhere in, say, Colorado, Montana. The first time I ever went to one was in California near Death Valley, but that's not that far from mountains. Actually, mountains are right there. Tacoma Springs. But you know, it was interesting to see what was going on there. And I will get to the news and some thoughts in a minute, but I just want to share my experiences first. It's this sinkhole, and the couple of springs I'd been to were either indoor, that they were taking advantage of the springs that were already out there. They were actually, or like a swimming pool situation. This really was a swimming hole, and not that crowded. It wasn't a nice day, but interestingly, it's very much populated by Russians. Northport, Florida, where that is I think 10%. No, I was corrected by talking to some of the people in the warm springs, the warm mineral springs, the swimming hole, they said it's not Russians, it's people who can speak Russian. So that means a lot of people from other places in the former Soviet Union, including a lot of Ukrainian Jews. Even the lifeguard was Russian, or a Russian speaker. She certainly had an accent that I couldn't tell from anything else. I can't tell what is Russian, what's Latvian, etc. But she was telling me a lot of interesting things. She told me that there are more minerals in that than any other place in the U.S., and maybe one or two other places in the world. Only those have more. I just try to share my experiences with you. I feel a little bit good. I remember a couple hours later just feeling on top of the world when I went to Mineral Springs. And it's really a European thing. Americans have never really caught on to them, though maybe out west is a different story. It would be a difficult habit if you're on the East Coast, because there just aren't that many. There are some in North Carolina, in the Smoky Mountains. I actually stayed there when I was in, when I had to go to Asheville a few months ago to cover the Trump event there. So, just some thoughts. I can go through the headlines now. Let me just think if there's anything else I want to tell you about the warm mineral springs. Hey, just try it sometime. You know, if you're somewhere, you can look up, just Google where are hot springs in the U.S. Try it. You really will feel good. It's a wellness thing. Very big with Russians or Slavic people who are in this country. And this, some say, is the fountain of youth. It is a place where prehistoric man lived, I believe. They have some evidence there. There are enough skulls. I think it's funny, you could walk around this, what is it, a lagoon, and, you know, it wasn't that deep, a lot of it, but if you go in the middle, which is, I guess, where the minerals come from, it's 200 feet deep. I remember I was walking, I was swimming, all of a sudden I said, wait, I can't stand in the water here. So it was kind of a neat experience. I'm glad I did it. If you're in Florida, especially on the west coast of Florida, you know, the Fort Myers area, Sarasota, it's not even very far for you. You should give it a shot. Tampa Bay area, it's worth maybe an hour-and-a-half trip. That's probably all it is. So there's that. Let's see. Cloud had to show up, but I'm sure it's a pretty view anyhow. Trying to give you a good view while I give you my opinion in the news. Look, it's better than a green screen and a phony background. It may not be fake news that they're giving you at a lot of places, but it's a fake background. This is not. Going through the headlines, Drudge, here are a couple that caught my attention just now at the top, all about the media and the war on the media, which I'm doing in a, I guess, visually pleasing way, but I am trying to make a point here with the technology that you don't need, they're getting the same information I am from the same sources. They're putting up a fancy cityscape, but it's in front of a green screen most likely. I'm giving you the real thing, something nice to look at, and hopefully at least as good analysis of the news and what's going on in the world. From Drudge, O'Keefe, that's James O'Keefe, targets CNN, set to release hundreds of hours of newsroom footage. So that's going to be interesting tomorrow. I don't know what to expect. Stay tuned. MSNBC's Brzezinski, that's on Morning Joe in the morning. She said, our job in quotes, exactly what she said, to control, quote, exactly what people think. Pretty self-explanatory. I'm not telling you what to think here. I'm telling you my views of things. I don't think MSNBC is telling too many people what to think, given what their ratings are. Meanwhile, a woman named Anna Marie Cox, who is a senior political correspondent for MTV News. Who gets their news from MTV News? Though it was fun back in the day with Kurt Loder and Tabitha Seren. I bet you didn't know that I won, along with a friend of mine who went on to really big things in the entertainment world. I won MTV's Beavis and Butthead impersonation contest. It was fun. Beavis was the harder role. I did Butthead. But back to MTV News. She admits that she was going to anti-Trump rallies. This is someone who's objectively covering the news, though MTV doesn't really make much of a pretense of objectivity. But again, a story from the American Mirror. You know, I guess she didn't want that to get out. Interesting. This is a little concerning. Europe's been in the news. Sweden, I think we're seeing the realities over there. People are being more and more aware that it's not such a happy nation, to take the title of a song by the Swedish group Ace of Base. But there is a possible mole in the security detail of Geert Wilders, who's a real hero over there and leading a political movement that could well take power. He is actually one of the people who is whose eyes are open. I don't like to use the term woke because there's a Black Lives Matter connotation to that. Meanwhile, Politico has a story that they're trying to turn Elizabeth into a boogeyman. That is the title. I think they spelled it B-O-O-G-E-Y-M-A-N. Isn't it bogeyman? I don't know, but it seems they may have gotten that wrong. This is about how in the 2018 elections, Republican candidates are going to make the enemy Elizabeth Warren. Pocahontas, I guess she's... women are running to catch the sunset. Hi! I guess she carries a lot of weight. Okay, beautiful view, sun's behind the cloud. I guess that's all that we're going to see of the sun on this Washington's birthday. By the way, it is a shame that that's no longer a holiday. I mean, not to take anything away from Martin Luther King, but President's Day? Come on. I mean, it really should be George Washington's birthday, in my opinion, and do something to honor the man today. Gateway Pundit had some headlines. Recently discovered video shows Bill Maher defending pedophilia. People are stretching the definition of pedophilia quite a bit. I don't think that's what he really said. I have to, even though his politics are not mine, respect Bill Maher a little bit for being genuine and saying what he actually believes. I don't vote with him. There's a lot not to like about him. I don't find him very funny, but he's not disingenuous, in my opinion. And he also speaks out against Islam a lot more than a lot of Republicans and even so-called conservatives do. Meanwhile, the Washington Post, speaking of the old media, what I like to call the dodo media, they are unveiling a new slogan. It's about darkness, and it's related to Trump. And their slogan is, "Democracy dies in darkness." Whatever. That's Jeff Bezos' influence. I guess they're going to be... who Republican and conservative really reads it anyhow? They're doing what they can, I guess, to get some sort of audience now. Maybe they're trying to be an MSNBC of newsprint. Who knows? From St. Louis, hundreds of people joined Governor Pence and the new governor, who is Jewish, and a Republican, Eric, what's his name, Greitens. And they were cleaning up the cemetery that was vandalized yesterday. Hillary Clinton made a very lame attempt to try to connect Trump to it, like, well, what was her tweet? That he needed to speak out as if that would make a difference to someone who was set on desecrating Jewish cemeteries. But it's really nice to see that hundreds of people came out to try to send a message there. Meanwhile, in Arlington, Texas, Muslim preschool teacher removed for tweeting, "Kill some Jews." She may have done it flippantly. I don't know. I'm sure the ACLU and CARE will have something to say about all this. But a woman named Nancy Salem, I don't know, maybe she's a convert to Islam, because Nancy is not a typical Arabic, etc., Urdu name. But she had tweeted to a friend, "Have a safe trip, Lulu. I love you, baby girl. See you in 3 weeks. Kiss the Palestine ground for me." Of course, there is no country called Palestine. In fact, there is no letter P in Arabic. It was something that the Romans put to de-Judaize it. Years ago, it was related to the Philistines, who you know about from the Bible. There is no P in Arabic, but it's Palestine. But she wrote, "Kiss the Palestine ground for me and kill some Jews." Then she put the heart with it, which is that sign, and then the number 3. And then she wrote, "Hashtag I miss you already." So she's gone from her job. I'm sure she'll be taken care of. Go figure. Well, they did the right thing, removing her from her job. Preschoolers. Imagine what she subtly insinuated to these preschool children. Another headline from thegatewaypundit.com. Wow, WikiLeaks document shows that John McCain requested donations from Russians. Speaking of Russians, who I saw a lot of, or Russian speakers, as I was corrected, at the Warm Mineral Springs before. Look, nothing surprised me with John McCain. Yeah, I know there are going to be people who are saying, "Well, where did you serve?" You know, etc. But John McCain, who I call John McCNN, which works better in print, or John McVeigh, is what he is. It's not a good thing. The guy came in at the bottom of his class in the Naval Academy, and he shows me no signs of being that much smarter now. A tool of the media, a guy who probably knows he's no good, but does whatever cheap tricks he can to get somewhere. Don't get me started on him, but you know, it wouldn't surprise me at all that he is criticizing Trump on one hand, while he very aggressively requested donations from Russia on the other hand. And then a report, well, a headline which speaks for itself. Report: Obama's DHS made thousands of attempts to hack Indiana's electoral system. Speaks for itself. That tells you plenty there. I imagine that's not going to be the last we hear of that story. Are that animals or people making those noises? Sounds like animals. Oh, okay. Someone's waving. Oh, the girls are waving. But whatever. Maybe we'll go talk to them after this. I'll take a walk on the beach after doing this. I do want to read you a couple things now that we're 6 minutes past the sunset. Keith Levenberg, who you saw 2 nights ago, I did a, if you were watching Facebook Live, it's up on YouTube now. Brilliant guy I went to law school with, just has so many great insights into the news and current events. He wrote something a while ago about the DACA, the DREAM Act, DACA. Like, man, I can't even remember what it is DACA stands for. Maybe the warm minerals are making me feel just a little too good. But here's something he wrote a few days ago I wanted to bring to your attention. Now I have the chance. Trump, at the press conference just now, asked by a PBS NewsHour reporter whether he intended to continue DACA, the Obama Dreamer policy. We're going to show great heart. DACA is a very, very difficult subject for me. I will tell you. To me, it's one of the most difficult subjects I have, because you have these incredible kids in many cases. Pay attention to Trump's words here. Not in all cases. Some of the cases they're having DACA and they're gang members and they're drug dealers too. But you have some absolutely incredible kids. I would say most of them, they were brought here in such a way. It's a very, very tough subject. This is going somewhere, by the way. We are going to deal with DACA with heart. I have to deal with a lot of politicians, don't forget, and I have to convince them that what I'm saying is right, and I appreciate your understanding on that. But the DACA situation is it's a very difficult thing for me, because, and I love these kids. I love kids. I have kids. I have grandkids, and I have no Trump impersonation, by the way, whatsoever. I love kids. I have grandkids, and I find it very, very hard doing what the law says exactly to do. And you know the law is rough. I'm not talking about new laws. I'm talking the existing law. It's very rough. It's very, very rough. Keith says it all with just a short comment after all that. That was Trump's words, Keith's words. OMG, just like Hitler. Enough said. I do want to just add one more thing. A woman named Lori, I don't know if she wants me giving out her last name, but she wrote something very insightful and I thought well thought out, nuanced, just as a Facebook message to me about the So that doesn't make it automatically public, but I think it's worthwhile. I'm not giving her last name, and I am going to share it. She can chew me out if there's a problem with it. But this is about Milo Yiannopoulos. Is it Yiannopoulos? Yiannopoulos? Yeah, Yiannopoulos. Just something she wrote, her feelings about that. She's an observant Jew. I thought this is, you know, kind of fits what I think too. Let me read it. On the superficial level, obviously the whole thing was a setup. He provides a very unique perspective and appears to be an unlikely shliach, that means messenger in Hebrew, which is why, or emissary, which is why his mission is so valuable and why people on both ends of the spectrum want to take him down, similar to Trump. But I am really most interested in his psychological pathology as it relates to his lifestyle and God. I've done some research over the years into the matter from a Torah perspective, and ironically, despite his behavior, he seems to agree with it all. He knows there's something pathological in his behavior by the mere fact that he can't procreate. Well, he of course could. I have no children myself, so I don't touch that. By the mere fact that he can't procreate, he claims that this is not the way man is supposed to live. Not born this way. Purely he is a product of his brutal childhood. As he says, gallows humor is his coping mechanism. I just find it so fascinating because it is so rare to see any gay people pronounce with confidence that they are making a choice. Of course, Milo is a gay conservative. Even deeper, he says lesbianism does not exist. Well, again, so fascinating as in the Torah, it is not listed as a prohibition, and the Torah is pretty much mute on it. I just find it so fascinating that someone can be so tapped into the truth and yet feels the need to act out the way he does. No biggie, just not interested in having a God conversation on public Facebook page. People just attack and it doesn't mesh with my personality. Very well written, Lori. So, appreciate your comments. I'm obviously trying to get the wheels turning on this. This is all new. I'm still getting the technical aspects done. Thanks for bearing with it the last few days. I'm going to hopefully move on to a little bit better versions of sunset, sunrise, and midday reports on a regular basis, and maybe whatever in between. I am parodying the media, but I am trying to offer you more worthwhile information and insights that you might otherwise get, as well as, of course, pretty views. And you know what, I'm just going to take a quick walk on the beach, let you see a little bit of Venice Beach. I forget the name of the park. It has something to do with veterans. Let's just see what's going on. Talk to these ladies. They have no idea what I'm doing, but I'll leave this here. They're loud. Something tells me they won't have a problem talking. This is Venice Beach. Service something park. Can't remember the name. Oh, it's beautiful out now. You know, the pictures do, I have to confess, look a little different on my phone than in the actual sky. It's a little more orange in the sky. All I'm seeing is orange, but you see more colors on the phone. Full disclosure here. Hello, everyone. I'm just showing people on a live stream about Venice Beach. Do you want to appear? Tell us a little bit about the area. I'm not from here.
Oh, I'm not from either.
Where are you all from? Are you all together?
Yeah.
Michigan. Oh, wow. So you really appreciate this weather doesn't bother you. We're about in Michigan?
North of Detroit.
Okay.
Clinton Township in Washington and Macomb.
Washington, happy birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Macomb is, so a little bit north of Detroit. Got it. And what brought you? Just you wanted to escape the winter?
We stay down here.
What's that?
We stay down here.
Oh, you do?
Every month.
Okay, cool.
They came for a week.
Midwinter break. Okay, cool. It's beautiful here. I'm from near Philly, but I do live streaming a lot. And I don't know. What's that?
Are you famous?
No. Infamous, maybe. But on this one, we have some people watching, but usually people watch on YouTube. I mean, if you got a big contract, you can keep it all, you know, if you become a star, you don't have to thank me. It's just that way. But I wouldn't spend the money quite yet.
Were you here early enough to see how beautiful it was?
I will watch it later on the Facebook Live. I was sitting there talking so other people could see it. But what a shock today. The weather was so bad all day, and the last few days it's been nice, but I didn't get good sunrises and sunsets where I was. But here today we get...
How long are you here for?
Oh, I'm leaving right after this. I just wanted to see the sunset. I'm heading up to New Orleans right now. I stayed last night. Where was I? I was in Bradenton last night. And what's this area like? It's a little sleepier, quieter, right?
Wonderful.
What's the great thing about Venice?
There's history, there's culture, there's beaches without big tall buildings, you know.
Yeah.
Down
Look at
to
this.
Casperson this way.
Down the what?
Down past Sharky's. It's all just beach and sand.
What's
dunes.
Sharky's? A big time happy hour bar?
They have big restaurants.
Okay. Do I need to check it out before I leave?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, you should.
It's going to be going on a bad day like today?
Oh, it's always 24/7 almost.
Really?
Yeah.
Sharky's.
Yes.
Okay, I'll take a
Right
quick look.
down the road.
All right, I'll take a quick look.
Very, very good food. People know how to serve people.
And
Good.
the people who own it are from Michigan.
Ah, okay. Cool.
Wait, can I tell your live stream? Follow me on Instagram at Sophia J Paulo,
Follow
SOFIA.
me.
Wait, a little slower, please.
SOFIA
Yeah.
JPAULO. Request me. And then
Oh, that's a French name, right?
SKY.LARRY. Paulo, that's Brazilian.
Oh, Brazilian. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't catch yours.
SKY.LARRY. Sky Larry.
Sky Larry. And Michigan's had a mild winter, right?
Yeah,
I don't
fairly
know. I
mild.
haven't.
No,
Fairly.
right.
We've been there. Fairly
It's
mild.
been
Worse.
How much snow did you get this year?
Not that much. I'd say about 6 inches.
Total?
2 snow days. 2 snow days.
All right. Well, thanks for talking to me. Have a nice night. It
You're
sounds like I
welcome.
need to
Follow
check
me on
out
Instagram live
Sharky's.
stream. Thank you. Goodbye.
Okay.
Have a nice day.
See ya, you too.
Yeah. Bye.
All right. Take care. Nice dunes here. What do you think? Just give you a sense of the dunes. Use my flip-flops here. They're all leaving. Quick walk to the water. Feel very safe leaving my stuff here. It's very quiet, sleepy. There aren't too many places along the coastline that are not protected yet are still pretty quiet. I mean, obviously you have a lot of national parks, but not so many that, you know, just haven't been that built up. I don't know if there's some sort of restrictions. When you go north of the Tampa Bay area, it's just not beaches there. You would wonder what's in the northwest, what I call the armpit of Florida, because it's shaped like an armpit, but not that much. They just don't have beaches up there. When you get to the Panhandle, you do. All right, I think that's enough for tonight. Show you my face. See y'all later. I gotta stop doing that.